Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our beautiful center this morning. And I often forget to welcome all of you who are joining us on the internet. So welcome to everyone here present and at home. And our theme this month is home. So I feel like this is like it's our spiritual home, but it's also our spiritual family. And in that line, there is a sign up for Thanksgiving dinner here, and it looks like it's going to be really fun. There's quite a nice list and a lot of yummy food. So if you have nowhere that you would rather be, there's a sign up in the library that you can sign up for Thanksgiving. And I believe the turkey's provided, and you bring a side dish. So you can sign up for that too. I want to welcome this morning Ariana. Just so excited to have Ariana here this morning for our music. So yeah, we are really, really grateful for her to be here. And let's see, is there anyone here for the first time? Yeah, Ariana, you're here for the first time. Well, yeah, so thank you for being here. And Jim had an announcement? Somewhere. Okay.
It's more of a gift than an announcement. As many of you know, I'm still nothing new, but I've been here only about a year. And I can tell you that being Thanksgiving month, and I really want to say I appreciate being here. This has been a great place, not knowing nothing from nothing and learning as I go, and I felt a real connection. As a kid, I was taught how to do latch hook rugs for my grandfather. And so I want to present this gift to the church.
Oh, that is so cool. Wow. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh my gosh, thank you, Jim. And for those of you who don't know, this is the symbol of Centers for Spiritual Living. Religious science symbol. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Moore. You're going to have to find a very special place to put that. Yeah, on the wall.
Put it on the floor and walk on it.
No, we will never put it on the floor and walk on it. Thank you ever so much. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh.
I just appreciate being here.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, well, we are so glad you are here, Jim. Thank you so much. Yeah, wow. Wow. That is so wonderful. And I also want to thank this morning Dawn Lewis again, who has been working, must be downstairs, been working on the meditation garden as she does constantly. And so she's not here, but when you see her. Also, for those who don't know, we are having a visioning meeting, the last visioning meeting today after the service downstairs, probably about 12:30, and there's yummy food, actually little rolled up sandwiches too. So please feel free to stay, and if you don't want to stay for the meeting, get you something to eat. Yeah, I just saw a box of chips down there too. So yeah,
The turkey rolls.
Healthy. So, all right. So, let us stand. Shall we stand for a congregational song, Wonderful Life? And let's all just know that this week. And thank you, Jim, for reminding us the thanks. I just feel so grateful, too. So, Wonderful Life. Yeah. All right.
Join me in singing What a Wonderful World.
What a wonderful world.
Oh, a world. Yeah, that too.
Life, too. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you for singing with me.
I was waiting for my cue. Good morning. My goodness. Wonderful energy in the room. I invite you to turn within and hold this sacred space, knowing that it's filled with God's light, God's love. The perfect morning. I know that Spirit is active in our lives. Spirit is enriching us, inspiring us, and the creative side of our nature is flourishing today in this visioning environment that we're bringing to pass. I know that each of us is a part of that power, that perfect love, that perfect God. And I breathe into that right now, knowing we are so blessed. And from this place of unity and love and joy and perfect creativity, I know that Spirit unfolds this service for us, through us, and as us. Everything that is happening just as it should. The music is inspiring. The words that each person is offering in the message, in the announcements, in this prayer, these words are divinely inspired through the light that shines within us. I feel immense gratitude for this today. There is a shower of blessings just flying through the air here, landing on each of us, awakening each of us, opening our hearts to a perfect day. And with this great gratitude, I release my word into the law, knowing it is done as spoken, and through grace, so much more. And please join me in saying, and so it is. I'd like to put in a little plug for the teaching symbol that Jim offered to us. If you haven't heard what it's about, what it means, please speak to one of us in the ministry team. We'd be glad to explain it. Not everybody knows, so. We do have an affirmation in your program. If I just turn to the right page. Here we go. Please join me in saying, as I rest in the embrace of my infinite home, I'm filled with a sense of comfort and ease. I'm free to release worry, and I celebrate with divine power. Just as I know this to be true for myself, I know it to be true for all precious beings And so it
It
is.
is.
Thank
Thank you, Cheryl. John? And John is going to do an inspirational reading for us. You can come over, John. And I've been asked, because our inspirational readings are from Science of Mind magazine, and because they are so awesome, I've had people say, huh, where can I get that? Well, guess what? In the library, if you don't have a copy that you subscribe to, please feel free to pick one up. And I think the price is somewhere on here, and you can just leave that on the counter and take home this wonderful magazine. John? There's a little box. Yes.
The title of the reading today is Accepting What Is, and the writer asks us, how do we embrace what is in a manner that allows us to respond to it proactively? The first step is acceptance. This does not mean we have to like it. It means we have to be willing to see the apparent reality of the moment, the art of uncertainty. And Ernest Holmes has this to say: permanent happiness comes from a quiet contentment and an inner sense of certainty that cannot be shaken by outer conditions. Today's writer continues, I love the sentiment of Longfellow's words, which are, the best thing one can do when it's raining is to let it rain. This wisdom came to me this morning at just the right time when I spied my dog, McDoodle, sitting by the window staring at the intensely pouring rain. If I could read his puppy mind, I doubt he is thinking, dang it all, it's raining and now I can't go chasing rabbits and squirrels like I usually do. I don't like this one bit. I suspect in all his dogness, McDoodle was just being one with what is in the moment because that is what dogs do. They are present moment creatures. When it is raining, they let it rain. And when the sun is shining, they let it shine. They are present with whatever is unfolding in the moment without resisting it. This is why I refer to McDoodle as my master teacher. He taught me the power of present moment awareness and acceptance with a peaceful heart. Being one with what is difficult for us. Often we are too obsessed with chasing the metaphorical rabbits and squirrels that run rampant in an extremely busy mind. When our bodies are sitting in our office or stuck in traffic, what rabbit are you chasing now? What squirrel is stealing your mind from this precious moment? Breathe and be present in your body and enjoy what is. McDoodle would be proud of you. And of course, we get a bonus affirmation. Today, I center myself in the midst of whatever is in this moment and cease resisting it. With quiet contentment, I breathe and transcend all outer conditions. Life is good.
Thank you, John. I love those readings, and they always speak to me, especially in traffic. Ariana Harris, welcome.
Hi, thank you all for having me today. This is such a treat. I'm going to play a song written by Jewel called Life Uncommon. Don't worry, mother, it'll be all right. Don't worry, sister, say your prayers and sleep tight. And it'll be fine. Lover of mine, it'll be just fine. And lend your voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend your strength to that which you wish to be free from. Fill your lives with love and bravery, and you shall lead a life uncommon. I've heard your anguish, I've heard your hearts cry out. We are tired, we are weary, but we aren't worn out. Set down your chains till only faith remains. Set down your chains and lend your voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend your strength to that which you wish to be free from. Fill your lives with love and bravery, and you shall lead a life uncommon. There are plenty of people who pray for peace, but if praying were enough, it would have come to be. Let your words enslave no one, and the heavens will hush themselves to hear. Voices ring out clear with sounds of freedom, sounds of freedom. Come on, you unbelievers, move out of the way. There is a new army coming, and we are armed with faith. To live, we must give. To live, and lend our voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend our strength to that which we wish to be free from. Fill your lives with love and bravery, and you shall lead. And lend our voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend our strength to that which we wish to be free from. Fill your lives with love and bravery, and we shall lead a life uncommon.
Wow. Oh, thank you. Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you, Ari. Wow. Yeah. Do you all just feel deeper this morning? And welcome to our beloved Reverend Moore this morning.
Okay, thank you, Julie.
Delivering
Welcome
our
to you
message.
too. Yes, absolutely. Are we ready? Are we ready? We're ready, right? We're ready to be free this morning, are we not? As Ari sang to us from composer being Jewel, if I heard correctly. And it's such a beautiful message. You know, the theme for today is Welcome to Your Dream Home. So I want to do a special welcome to this chapel, because I see this chapel as, in very many ways, a dream home. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we get along. But you know what makes it so? It's you. It's the attendance that you have. It's the presence in your heart. It's the goodness that's in your mind that makes this to be such a beautiful and wonderful dream home. It's a place where you are willing to explore the idea that there is more that you can yet become. You can be your best yet to be. And this is a place to gain inspiration for that. Now, you know, it's quite a team that puts on a Sunday morning. Wasn't Ruth's meditation centering experience this morning for those who were here? It was a beautiful experience, indeed. And our platform leader, Reverend Julie, always full of active love. And Cheryl, who prayed us in, and our reader, John Eels, our musician, Ari. Yeah, I got it right. I don't want to say Ari. Our musician Ari. And of course, her daughter is here too. And of course, we have an audiovisual technician, Aaron. So there's just so many who have prepared for our hospitality and prepared for this morning. Now, there's one little welcome I saved for myself this morning. I'd like to particularly welcome anyone who's new, and that's me, Ari, and Peter, right? Okay. And Nora. Hi, Nora. Welcome. So welcome here. And I would like to welcome a returning family who is here from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And that would be my daughter, Jonica, her husband, Ryan, and my granddaughter, Jorian. I'm so happy to be able to spend this time with all of you. Now, on the first Sunday of the month, we spoke a little bit about home, sweet home. We discovered that home is an emotionally loaded word. For most people, the emotions are positive. They're supportive. For some, perhaps, the feeling may be less joyful because of troublesome early life experiences. Even so, even given if there have been problems in growing up, we carry in our hearts an ideal home, and a dream home. And that is what we strive to provide for ourselves and for our families. We noted that a home is much more than a structure. It's much more than a building. You may have had several homes in your lifetime, or maybe just one. But in any case, it's the concatenation of memories. It's the concatenation, the coalescing of understanding who and what you are in relationship to those whom you love. That's what I think makes the place a home. The people whom you love. Yes. Now, this is such a powerful part of the human psyche that it earned the title of archetype. And I think we introduced archetypes on the first Sunday. What is an archetype? Well, an archetype is a psychologically significant awareness that exists in almost all human minds. Home is one of these prototype archetypal ideas and realities, as is the hero of which we may speak a little later. Now, I have a question for you. How many of you feel that you're living in a dream home right now? Anybody? Oh, we got some. Well, I submit that I think almost everyone is, because there was something that drew you to that home. There was something in your mind that said, this is the place I want to be with myself or with my family, and we can grow and prosper here. So in a sense, I think we all have an ideal home. So, but I would like to just talk a little bit about how our ideal home came to be. As you know, Vicki and I, yes, were married several years ago, many years ago. From before our marriage, our intention was to find a home that we both liked and move there. Now, she would move from her home, which she had been in for 30-some years. I would move from my home, which I had purchased after my divorce. And we found that was our intention. It took some time, about 4 or 5 years, for that intention to realize. But we did finally find 5 houses within our price range. We settled on 2. We went back and we imagined, what would it be like to live here? Got that mind going, that visualization going. Well, we decided on a house in Kaiser in a stable neighborhood. It's about 1,800 square feet and on one level and relatively modern, built in the 1960s. Now, you might not think that's so terribly modern, but the house we moved out of was built in 1888. So it's modern. It's modern. Moving into that home required some significant remodeling and resurfacing of everything in the house. And the day we moved in, what a great day. I bet some of you have felt that too, as you've moved into your new homes and your new places of living. This home is still suitable for us. It has room for our children and grandchildren to come visit. It is warm in the winter and cool in the summer. It's even freshly painted. It still meets our needs. Now, we are adding grab bars in certain strategic locations, and we're considering installing a walk-in shower in place of a tub. So the dream evolves, right? The dream house, the dream place, that which is most lovely in your heart. It changes. It changes with time and circumstance. It changes with your life, because this dream is a living dream. If our needs change, for example, Vicki and I, we may envision a new dream home, for we carry that archetype, that ideal image of the dream home in our hearts. When we talk about a dream home, we are actually coming from a little deeper perspective. Maybe we would call it a mystical perspective, or perhaps a poetic perspective, an inspired perspective. How many of you have heard of or read the book The Prophet by Khalil Gibran? Oh, quite a number. Good. Because I was going to take a little passage from it this morning, and I think it really applies. The format of the book, if you're familiar, is that a prophet or a teacher has come to this town called Orphalese, and he's giving his kind of like a final speech before he leaves. He's been a great blessing to the community. And so he answers questions from people. In this particular segment, the stonemason rises up and says, "Speak to us of our houses." And the prophet says, "People of Orphalese, what have you in these houses? Have you peace, the quiet urge that reveals your power? Have you remembrances, the glimmering arches that span the summits of the mind? Have you beauty that leads the heart from the thing fashioned of wood and stone to the holy mountain? Tell me, have you these in your home, in your houses? But you children of space, you restless in the rest, you shall not be trapped or tamed. Your house will not be an anchor, but a mast on an immensely beautiful sailing ship. And though of magnificence and splendor, your house shall not hold your secret, nor shelter your longing. For that which is boundless in you abides in the mansion of the sky, whose door is the morning mist, and whose windows are the songs and silence of night." Rather poetic. Getting to peace, memory, location. Oh, yes. I believe that Khalil Gibran points us to a deep revelation. That which is boundless in us is what we often call our higher or greater self. It's that voice of the divine that's within us. It's our gateway to spirit. And it's found within. If we simply are quiet enough, we can hear it. Some would simply call it the soul. Now, Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind Teachings, says this: "Always the spirit corresponds to our belief and receptivity to it. Hence there's a power within to which each may come, a presence which is light, a spirit which is guidance. This is fundamental to the understanding of the science of mind. There is a spirit which knows. This spirit is God. This spirit which knows us. It corresponds, it responds, and it flows through us." This he wrote in Can We Talk with God, to God. Another New Thought teacher by the name of Joel Goldsmith wrote in his book, The Master, "Know thyself," the Greeks said. "Find within your own being the realization of God as your being, as your substance, as your life, your mind, and your body, and then you will find that the whole world is free." Oh, we sang of freedom, didn't we already? As men awaken to that, they come into the same freedom from mortal, material, human limitation, from the sense of finiteness. And all of this comes not just through the intellect, not through intellectually hearing this, but through and only through the spiritual discernment of it. It's when we most truly know ourselves as spiritual beings having a human experience that we find our true home, our dream home. And we carry that home within our hearts as awareness and as feelings of comfort and safety and peace and positive remembrances and beauty. Let's pivot for a moment. Just take a little look around. Has anyone noticed homeless people? Houseless, unsheltered folks? Yeah. Now, it was pretty hard to be speaking of homes and houses without becoming aware of those who don't have a home, do not have shelter from the cold and heat, and a safe place to call home where they may keep their belongings. Now, there are a fairly large number of people in Salem, as you may be aware, who are unsheltered, who are houseless. Still, the goal from our community is to help them find a home where they can call their own. There may indeed be a few people, and I've talked to one or two, who prefer a homeless or lifeless, houseless lifestyle. But judging from the many articles analyzing the cause of houselessness, most people desire to return to a house that can become their home, a place for family and friends to feel safe, comfortable, and welcome. The unsheltered often need treatment and a safe temporary place to stay to get off the streets and attain a dream of a permanent home. Now, I feel the urge to have a drink of water. No vodka in there. We are fortunate that we live in a city that has started to build temporary micro shelters. The Salem Council gave the go ahead in January of this year, and we're already seeing results. Have any of you seen the little micro houses? Okay, several of you have. I was driving down Center Street the other day and saw, I think, about a whole half block of these micro shelter buildings. They're right across from the Safeway store near 12th. There's a big bunch of them. They've already come up. There are other locations. I've seen similar ones over at the old DMV parking lot. Has anybody seen that one? They'll be there for a while. And then there are a couple of others proposed for South Salem and another in Central Salem. Do you know that our community has already raised $600,000 in donations for this project? $600,000. There's also grant money that comes through the city for about $392,000. So the shelters each cost $5,000. They have room for 2 people. They allow them to secure their belongings and give them a safe, warm place to sleep. Now, advocates for the homeless or the houseless say this allows people experiencing homelessness to stabilize, get treatment, and connect to more permanent housing solutions. The trouble right now isn't a lack of money. We can build 120 of these things. The challenge is locating them, and that is something that's a process that's going on right now. But we do live in a city, in a town that recognizes that this desire to have a home, this prototype idea, this archetype of being at home is paramount for our community. It's alive and well in what we do and what we are. Home is both a physical location where we are welcome and a deep feeling within our souls. Now, before we get into the rest of our message this morning, I'd like to share a short story with you that I found humorous, and perhaps you will too. I don't know. We'll see. An old man was sitting on his front porch when he saw 2 boys walking past his house. The 2 boys were talking very loudly. "Yesterday I bought a car and drove all the way to the moon," said one of the boys. "That's nothing," said the other boy. "This morning I went all the way to Pluto by walking." "What are you 2 whippersnappers doing?" asked the old man. "We found a $20 bill on the sidewalk," one of the boys explained, "and we decided that whoever can tell the biggest lie gets to keep the money." "You should be ashamed of yourselves," said the old man. "When I was your age, I didn't even know what a lie was." The 2 boys looked at each other, and then gave the $20 bill to the old man. We value peace and quiet around our homes. We value the truth also. So home is both a physical location where we are welcome and a deep feeling within our souls. Now, one of the analogies that we talked about in our first talk of the month was that of the hero's journey. And the hero's journey, at least generally speaking, in almost all the classical tales, starts from a home location. The hero goes out, finds a challenge, conquers the monster, does whatever is needed to do to find themselves and their strength interiorly, and they come home, back home, transformed. And that transformation is amazing. In the ancient tales, there are monsters who live in dark caves on strange isles. And the hero comes home transformed because having conquered all that. You may remember the story of how fire came to humanity, and Odysseus was the one who brought it there. Or overcoming the Medusa, the multi-headed, snaky sort of thing that Perseus did from classical times. But we have our own challenges. Overcoming or managing our fears, such as perhaps, for some of us, the fear of public speaking. Some people find that very challenging. Or and I used to also. I remember the first one it was 2 or 3, but I'll say the one in high school. I was forced, encouraged, required to take a speech class. And I was just scared to death about this. And the last thing that we were supposed to do was give a 5-minute speech. Oh, Lordy. I remember just quaking in my boots, and somehow I got through it. So fear of public speaking may not be a huge thing, but for some of us it has been. Or perhaps you've ever had the opportunity when you were young to have to go to a new school. You might have to go to a school you've never been to before. That can be kind of scary. It can be. It doesn't have to be. Or perhaps that very first job, when you're just out of school or just free to go to work, and will I get a job? Will they like me? Do you think I can interview? All those questions, right? Well, these may not be of the scope of bringing fire to mankind or overcoming great demons, but the arc of this story holds true. We leave our home, we face a challenge, and we come back home transformed by our experience. This is the archetype of the hero's journey, and it serves as a template for our own experiences in life. Any of you ever seen any of the Star Wars movies? Anybody at all? No, never? Oh, come on. You've never seen them out there? I can't believe it. They've been around for so long. Anyway, the archetype of the hero is what is evident in each of those stories. In fact, it's really evident in most all great literature that talks about human life, because that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Those who dare to confront the dark cave of their fears are the ones who are transformed. Spiritual heroes are those who commit themselves to endeavors larger than themselves. They serve, they are here, they are present. When we come to recognize this truth for ourselves, we have the ability to realize that the home that we seek is really in our hearts. It's really who and what we are. And this awareness, this archetype of home, this ideal that lives in our minds and hearts is a lodestar, a north star that gives us direction, that gives us focus in life. We really begin to find that we can accomplish what we envision. Now, what tends to happen is that we embody oneness so much that others are at home in our presence. We empower others to remember what it is to be at home and to be heroes of their own journeys. The hero's tale is really meant to inspire us to be courageous and standing for who and what we are and what we can become, for finding that great yet to be. Yet, I ask a question. how do we know what we stand for? What is this challenge we're going to meet? We know from our spiritual teachings and perhaps from our personal beliefs that there is a universal energy, each one of us is some part of that energy. Quantum mechanics or quantum physics agrees with ages and ages of mystical teaching that we are all some part of the one. That we're all some manifestation of this one energy in life. And as we come to know we're spiritual beings living a human experience, our life challenge begins to unfold. Now you can say in general that for all people, really, the trick is, or the secret is, if it is a secret, is that we learn to love, we learn to give, we learn to serve, right? But what is it that is ours to do? What guides us through life so we may return home transformed? There's a spiritual practice that can help us identify the highest vision for our lives. Now, visioning and affirmative prayer help illuminate the way. Today we'll focus on vision. I believe that visioning as a spiritual practice can help you discern what qualities and values you wish to see in your life. It helps focus your thinking, focus your doing, focus your being. It's a spiritual technique that can be used in virtually all dimensions of life. Now, some of us know the basics of visioning. We've used it at Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living in years past. Do you remember when Reverend Linda Finley came and did a brainstorming and a visioning? There are still a few who do. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. We will be doing the visioning process as a community, again, shortly after this Sunday celebration. And you are welcome to stay for that. But let's just kind of do a quick review of this technology. We can use it individually for our own lives. We can use it as a family, if we wish. And we can use it as a community. It can be used in secular applications. It is often, in fact, used in businesses and corporations. I wonder if you agree with me. Do you think everyone has some vision of their life? It's just kind of natural that you have a vision of life. We might have absorbed it from our parents when we grew up, or maybe from experiences in life. It may be even unconscious or somewhat unconscious. Now, perhaps you yourself have a vision as maybe, I'm just going to suggest, as an ideal musician, as an ideal nurse, as a teacher, a gardener, a plumber, an electrician, a doctor, maybe even a lawyer. Maybe a vision of yourself more at home as a spouse, or perhaps as a daughter, or perhaps as a grandparent. All of these things have resonance in the visioning world. I believe that everyone has some visioning in life, and we have a general impression of what we would like our lives to be. Oftentimes it's somewhat fuzzy. Now, this visioning thing is built on a natural process. And if there's a natural way of doing things, someone will discover a spiritual technology that will improve, deepen it, and in this case, bring the vision into conscious awareness. It's just the way life works. Same with thinking and meditating and contemplating and praying. They're all natural. And that is what the Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith did. He made this visioning process something explicit and useful and built a community doing it. Let's just do a quick review of the basics. First of all, visioning is a meditative practice. It begins on the highest level of consciousness we can bring ourselves to. We ask for Spirit's guidance and then address what must be released, what must be embraced, what we or I must become to fulfill the vision. To go into a little more detail, we begin by identifying what we would like to vision about. For most of us, the first visioning might be something like, what is the highest vision for my life? It can be also for relationships or finances or health or growth or any other noble purpose. The process itself begins by centering in oneness and anchoring in love. Then we ask questions. Either we have a leader who does this or we do it ourselves. For the purposes of this morning, I will just leave a moment for you to consider your response to these questions. And these are one version of these questions. Think for a moment. What is the highest vision for my life? What must I release in order to live this vision? There may be words coming to mind, maybe images, maybe sounds. There's no wrong answer. What must I embrace to live this vision? What must I become for this vision to fulfill itself through me? What must I become? Is there anything else to be known at this time? What came to my mind to the last one is, I love you all. What else? So, thank you. Oh, thank you, Camille. Now, this process includes time to jot down what we receive in each question. And let me say again, there's no right or wrong answers. In fact, sometimes an image, a word, a sound, or maybe sometimes nothing at all may come. But we are encouraged to keep a journal of our visioning. So that way, as our vision matures through life, we can become even more clearer on what is the highest vision for my life. There is a special form of this process that we will use in our community visioning session later this morning after Sunday service and hospitality. Our leadership team has done brainstorming and has also prepared materials and researched some themes for us to explore. I invite you to join us in this. It will be fun, I think, and informative, and will have the potential to involve you deeply in reimagining Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living. When we say, welcome to your dream home, we are including a vastly deep and unimaginably high endeavor. For as we step into our dream home, we step into at least 3 and probably more dimensions of life. We step into a dream home as a structure, the one you've chosen or was chosen by your family. It fulfilled a dream that was dear to us. We step into a community, Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living, which has been built by the dreams, the efforts, the gifts of so many people for over 65 years. We enter consciously, and that word conscious is important. We enter consciously into a relationship with our higher self, which is where Spirit lives in us. As we welcome ourselves or are welcomed into our home, our dream home, we find comfort, safety, peace, enduring memories, and a vision of our lives. Remember how Khalil Gibran spoke of these things in his book, The Prophet. A stonemason asks, "What of our houses?" And the teacher replies, "People of Orphalese, what have you in these houses? Have you peace, the quiet urge that reveals your power? Have you remembrances, the glimmering arches that span the summits of the mind? Have you beauty that leads your heart from the things fashioned of wood and stone to the holy mountain? Tell me, have you these in your houses? But you children of space, restless in rest, you shall not be trapped or tamed. Your house shall not be an anchor, but a mast of a beautiful sailing ship. And though of magnificence and splendor, your house will not hold your secret, nor shelter your longing. For that which is boundless in you abides in the mansions of the sky, whose door is the morning mist, and whose windows are the songs and silence of night. I invite you to step fearlessly into the night. I invite you to bring into the light the fears, the concerns, the worries, and the bugaboos that may trouble you. Bring them into the light of your consciousness. Let the love that is in the core of your being heal these conditions. I invite you to use a powerful spiritual technique to find your true vision. Step boldly into the future. I know you'll land on your own 2 feet. Welcome to your dream home. May you ever return to it. Namaste. That is our lesson for today. See you in the visiting session. Thank you. We have some music.
Thank you, Moore, Rev. Moore.
You're welcome.
That was
Mary.
beautiful.
Thank you, Ari.
You're welcome. I am going to play a song that I wrote a few years ago. That was actually, I remembered this morning that I wrote this song for a service at New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, where I attended for a long time. And I sang Wednesday night services there a long time ago before the pandemic, all those years ago. And so this song is called Soar. And
It's S-O-A-R, right?
S-O-A-R,
Soar.
yeah. Not like a sore muscle, but like soaring through the sky. It's a funny two-meaning, word, depending on context. Anyway, so this is called Soar. As leaves are falling from the trees, I let the fear fall far from me. I wonder if those trees ever feel pain. When one door closes, people say, a new one opens right away. It's up to us to keep an open heart. I'm gonna take the leap. I don't know where I'm landing, but I'll land on my 2 feet. Now I'm ready to soar. I'll keep an open heart to find that open door. When the life I had for years expanded and grew beyond my fears, embraced the change in my reality. Everything I ever need is waiting deep inside of me. So here I am, ready for the call. I'm gonna take the leap. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
And so now, I get the pleasure
Okay.
of inviting our ushers forward.
All right. You know, we're given so many gifts here at Woodland Chapel. Wonderful gift. Thank you, Jim. That's a beautiful, what did you call it? It's not a throw hook, it's a lash hook rug. And we just had a wonderful gift from Ari. There's nothing like having the composer, the musician, present their very own work. It comes from the heart. Thank you so much. And we have the opportunity to give our own gifts today. We have the gift of life and love and joy and being together, and we'll have a nice time downstairs. Don't forget the turkey rolls. They're down there. They're a gift too. And so let's just know that we are circulating divine love. We're circulating divine energy. We're circulating that goodness that's in our hearts right here with everyone as we read together our offering affirmation. Let us do that now. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. We're here today as an expression of that divine love, as an expression of the divine power that lives in our hearts, fills our bodies, fills our life with so much beauty, so much activity, so much to do and to be. Please give thanks for the gifts we received this morning and for all the gift of your attention and your involvement here at Woodland Chapel. We are a magnificent community of faith and of love. Let's celebrate that by saying together, and so it is.
And let us together stand now and say our prayer of protection. And, wow, these are beautiful words. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And let us joyously sing our peace song. Yeah.
that.